Hello everyone and welcome back aboard the Devtastic Voyage, episode 11. So, yeah, you've probably been here for a while. I apologize now if you can hear my fur baby is starting to stir. I was waiting for a time when she would quiet down, but she's kind of been snoring, so everyone please send love and affections to hashtag Foxy of Podunk, because she's getting all sneezy and is probably going to be loud during this. But anyway, let's crack on. We have no time for any new people. Sorry, we're going to try and get through this as best we can. We have a few choices to go. Choices 5 and 6 are on the docket for today, so the dev time is going to go ahead and start now. Right, so here's where we are at. This big old mountain of nonsense. We're going to try and power through these as best we can, because again, I do think these are probably very, very boring for you to watch, because it's just you staring at squares, and no one likes looking at squares. That's why they used to be an insult. Just call someone a square. That's a phrase that came out of my mouth, but okay, anyway. Into the mind of this depraved and duplicitous fan fiction I have concocted, and I have become mildly drunken Winston Churchill. We shall write the fanfic on the beaches, in the air. I shouldn't be doing this voice. There's a lot of British people who watch this. Anyway, okay, so we are going to continue on with where we left off with Suli. And a lot of choice 5 is going to happen in micro choices. What I'm thinking, what I mean by that is, okay, you're going to lunch with Shadow, and rather than being like, okay, binary, this and this is where we are really going to try and fill in those buckets. Is, okay, you're having your first conversation with Shadow, you're having your conversation with Era, conversation with Shadow, conversation with Era, but you listen to me just make noises because you're all wonderful and I love you. Hey, 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 ha. I should be locked up. Okay, so this one's just gonna be really simple. We're just going to have a conversation with Shadow. So it's basically, what I'm thinking is you're going to go through these conversations, and each answer is going to be a point in another bucket. So you can kind of give you a, not last minute, but kind of our near ascending action of the story, chance to kind of right the train or go in a completely different direction. So you could have a conversation with Shadow that completely goes, hey, you pretty. Hey, nice shoes. Hey, or you could be a complete and total dick and be like, your shoes suck. Don't tell people their shoes suck. Everyone's shoes are lovely. Everybody love everybody. So we have a conversation there, and then when we bump into him, we'll have another conversation with him. Same goes for if we have lunch with Era. It's a conversation with Era. The actual scenario won't change in the next, but this is where we'll kind of suss out where we're going to go, because we're going to have to start condensing here. If we're going from 5 to 6, and then 6 to 7, and then finally to 8. So, and then same thing here, when we bump into Era. Oop. I got a copy of that. Bump into Era, or again, have lunch with Era. However, what we're going to need to do some thinking on is what do we do when we're alone? What would Sully do when he's all by himself? I don't know why I'm singing today. I think the sugar's finally kicking in, and I got all excited because I was going to record a new episode for you guys, and it's going to be great, and you're all going to come give me presents. No, I don't need presents. All the well wishes I got from you last week were more than enough. Alright, so lunch alone, what do? Well, Shadow has his kind of creepy story. So what if we gave Sully, he can't really talk to himself. What would you do if you were having lunch by yourself? Let's have him divide. Okay, we'll use this as kind of a crossroads for Sully. Okay, because his character. We put our minds in the player. Let's use this as an opportunity battle plan. Okay, what I mean by that is, all right. You can think I've either screwed it up with Shadow. I can refocus and go after Shadow, or I can go after Era, or I can, be a strong independent saddle and skip by myself. I don't need no other person. So, battle plan. Follow the same kind of tense. This will be basically Sully kind of sort of talking to himself. And he's going to be filling his own buckets. That sounds really bad. And then down here, let me try and grab these. Because it's conversation with Shadow, conversation with Era, and then same bits here. Then on the flip side of the coin, we have, oh boy. Okay, we have Shadow, who has this one storyline you can find where he gets really weird. I'm sorry, Shadow. I don't know why this came to me. I promise I will give Sully a weird storyline to go down. He wants to get Sully a present. So he's decided, I'm going to spy on him. I'm either going to follow him around or send him an admirer's note. If you follow him around, you have to get caught. It doesn't make sense if you don't get caught. So we have him get caught by Sully. Have that lead to awkward Oops, sorry, I realized you can't see any of that. Awkward conversation. Future me, edit some of that out. So just move this over a little. Alright. Have that lead to an awkward conversation. If you send him a note, let's have him send you one back, asking to meet up. So, in kind of about a roundabout way, note back, asking to meet. In a roundabout way, we will have this one lead back into this one. So it's a loop, and don't do that. That with that, and then it leads off from there. If you sent an error to find out what kind of gift to get Suli, she reports false information. You don't know that at the time, but get Suli bad gift, and then you let's have that leads you off to wander and think by yourself. You have lunch with it. Then similar to how Suli's worked, have a majority of these. Okay, lunch with Era leads to a conversation with Era, filling some of Shadow's buckets. Let me circle back to having lunch alone, because I already have Shadow's one weird storyline. And let's see here. Then if you have lunch with Suli, leads to a conversation with Suli. And fill some of these in. With Era's conversation with Era. Fill buckets. Oops. Copy. Filling the bucket. Why can't you see? You can't see that. Okay. Well, shoot. There's one last down here that says bump into Suli, so you're gonna have another conversation with Suli. If you take we need more ways of you interacting with Suli. So I think we have take a walk alone. You need to stay. Let's have the walk alone be Shadows, be battle plan. So again, have Shadow fill his own buckets. He don't need nobody with no saddle or beautiful gray hair. He's his own strong, independent skipping man. And if you have lunch alone, you know what? Let's see here. Where since this is along the line where Suli approached you, so let's have Suli make the official first move. Oh, shoot! Darn it! Suli joins you. Have convo with Suli. So you've chosen no. You're like, oh no, I'm gonna have lunch alone. He could, yeah, okay, so that works. And yep, that's choice 5 done. Right now, we need to think. Thinking is dangerous. So, because now we need to start getting skinny. Because where we eventually want to end up is in one of those 4 buckets. So you've had lunch. So class segment after lunch. We need a doodle. We need a doodle. We need a doodle. We need a doodle. Alright, so where are we at? We have our buckets. Okay. And we need to eventually end up so it makes sense that you land in one of the 4. So we've gotten real fat in the middle, so we need to start slimming down. And we're running out of time on this one, so you know what? I'm going to go ahead and stop the time and put you guys to work. Having seen all the stuff we have done so far, what would you do after our lunch date? Our lunch date either with Suli, with Era, or by ourselves. What would you do in each storyline? Please do let me know either in the comments or on the Twitters. Thank you all so much for your continued support of this. Really excited that the game's almost going to be wrapped up as far as a design standpoint, and the prototype is starting to come along. Hopeful to have something playable for you next week. Until then, please do kindly, calmly, and orderly exit the voyage. And remember, please send my dog love.